Hey everyone, it's Desiree, and I am here with Spellbinders and their amazing Paper Grace Die of the Month Club Kit. Now, this just looks like a bunch of rectangles and some beautiful detailed cutouts, and we've got some nested dies and then some more floral dies to add to our collection. But this is actually going to create a elegant reveal shutter card. So these are mechanisms, this piece and also this piece, that create the ability when you open your card, it's going to pull back some doors. So that's what we're going to make. Now, to save some time, I did do a lot of my die cutting beforehand and just get pieces ready. So you're not going to see all of the die cutting. All right. I did want to take care of that beforehand. So let me get these off to the side, and I'm going to apologize now. 9 out of 10, long video. And I do apologize for my voice. I am still coming over what I had gotten ever after Christmas. So it's been a while. So I will be drinking a lot of water. So I apologize. Okay. So I do apologize. I'm walking away here from the video just a little bit. Okay. So from the nested dies, all right, I'll show you what I did cut. I did cut myself a frame. So I took the largest and the second to largest. I put them around each other, evened it up, and then I taped them down onto a matte mirror cardstock. And what I love with these dies is when you do that, you get this texture, embossed areas that go around the frame as well. So that is how I created that die cut. I cut two of this piece. Now you have a score line here, and then you have this whole mechanism. So this is what the mechanism looks like. Simple piece of card, and then it's got two score lines on the top and the bottom that you would reinforce. Okay, and there's a reason for that. Now what I did with one of them is I used the second to largest that I used for this inner cut, and I placed that in the center to cut that out. I created an aperture. All right. So I have that opening. Now, what I'm going to do first, before I show any more pieces, is I'm going to take these two pieces and I'm going to line them up, and I'm going to use my stamp positioner. Okay, so I'm going to put these in here, and I think the stamps I'm using are yes. Okay, so the stamp set that I'm going to use for my sentiment is by FSJ, Fun Stamper's Journey, and it's called Spread Loves. I've used this before. I love the font. I love the sentiments. And one of my favorite is Happily Ever After. So I'm going to pull that out. And it is a red rubber stamp. So I made sure I took out the foam piece from my stamp positioner. And I'm just going to set that in the center of my cutout. Now I'm going to heat emboss this. Let me move these because they'll just go flying all over the place. So I want to get my anti-static tool, prep that, and I'm going to use gold embossing powder. So I'm going to get this stamped just a couple times to make sure that it's there. I think I'm going to stamp that just one more time and just apply more pressure in the center. Okay, that looks good. All right, we'll set this aside. And let's find, there we go. Carefully remove that. And I'm going to put my embossing powder over that, and I'm going to heat set that, and I will be right back. I don't like you guys to hear that loud heat gun. Okay, so we have that done. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these edges off. I'm just going to cut right along the score lines. Okay. So when this sits on top of that, I'm going to have this sitting down onto the card base. Okay. Now, for my card base, what I did was, you need a piece of cardstock that measures 6 inches, 6 inches tall, and 12 inches long. So we do have cardstock that's 12 by 12. I do not. And if I do, it's pattern paper. So I don't have solid cardstock. So what I did was I took 2 pieces of cardstock and I cut 6 inches tall by 9 inches wide. Okay, so 6 inches tall, 9 inches wide, because I knew this area back here is 6 inches, the big square in the back. So I have 2 of them. And then I scored at 3 inches. All right, so scoring at 3 inches, again, 6 inches by 9 inches. And hopefully I'll have them pop up on the screen there. Okay, and if not, all of these measurements will be on my blog as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these and I'm going to layer them on top of each other. Okay, just so that they'll close like this. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use some double-sided tape. I mean, you can use your liquid glue. You can use whatever it is you're more comfortable with. Double-sided tape is strong, and so is the liquid glue. So whatever you are more comfortable with. I would not recommend a tape runner. Now, why do I say that? It's kind of a personal preference. I do not have luck with tape runners, but double-sided tape, extremely strong. And of course, liquid adhesive is very strong. So I'm just gonna put a lot of my double-sided tape here. And now I'm going to remove the release paper. I do like to use, oh, no, that didn't work out. Try not to stick yourself with the craft pick. Just saying. And once they're all released, I'm going to carefully layer these up to each other. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put this in the corner and I'm going to pinch that down and then I'll press it in place. And this way I know I have those pieces connected. I have a gap here, but that's okay. That's the back of the card. And I'm just going to use my paper creaser just to make sure that I do have a good connection. Okay, so that's our card base. All right, so you're going to have the 2 3-inch sides folding, and then this area here is 6 inches. This here is where this piece is going to come in. Now I'm going to get my double-sided tape in place. So you want to put your tape on the bottom and on the top tab. Now these are going to fold under the aperture. So while this is flat, that's where you want to place your tape, okay? Because you're going to bend these down. So it's going to go like that. Now, how do we get this in our card? So we're going to do a couple things. One of the first things that I'm going to do is I'm going to place this in here, and I'm going to put my double-sided tape on this. This is tricky because probably the easier way to do this would be to set your piece with your cutout down onto your card base and stamp your sentiment on that. I tend to not do things the easy way. There's always something that I'm going to do a little differently, right? And again, I'm actually figuring this out while turning this camera on and seeing what we come up with. So, yay, it's going to be interesting. All right. So we're going to remove this release paper as well. And as a matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to get that back on there. There was a trick. I forget where I saw this trick. But, oh, you know what? It's actually a woman who did junk journals. And, oh, her name escapes me. So she used to just take this and she would peel just a little bit off and let them stick out the sides. And I think there's multiple people that do this. And I think Becca Feeken herself does this as well. Probably. Yeah. I tend to think of these things after the fact. And we'll do that as well. Okay, so now I've got these things sticking out. I'm going to put this on top. And what I'm going to do is I want to center this. I want to center both of these pieces on this base off. I don't want to be on those two flaps. So I'm going to take my score lines and make sure they're lined up on my grid. And I know here's my center at the 3-inch mark. Again, I don't measure, which is really bad, I know, but I'm going to eyeball this. So I'm going to bring this straight down, and I'm going to have my two pinkies hold this in place. I'm glad I'm using my glass mat so it's nice and slippery. And I'm going to press this down. Okay. I'm going to pull, and I'm going to pull, we're going to pull, pull, and one more. Okay, so I know this piece is now down, all right? I know this piece needs to go this way, all right? So what I'm going to do now is line this up. I'm going to keep my hands right here. I'm going to remove my release paper. I'm going to lift it up, and I'm going to bend it down. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to turn this. I'm going to make sure that this is laying right over that. I'm going to remove my release paper. See, I do better with the craft pick. I'm going to make sure she's flat up on that. I'm going to bend it down, and I'm going to flip her down. All right, so now we have this pocket. If I grabbed a piece of cardstock, which, sorry for the arm, you can see that this will pass in front of the sentiment. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for this pocket to be built right there. All right, we don't want it to go behind the sentiment. All right, now again, probably easier if you just stamp your sentiment right down onto the card base, and then you don't have to go through what I just went through. The next pieces that we need are the shutters. All right, so these are those, and I've cut 2 of these. Now, When it comes to this piece, the dies that are involved is this one, because it creates the score line. Okay. And then for me, for this one, it involved these two plates. I lined them up in here, and then I taped them down so that I could get this. Now, there is this piece as well. Problem is, if you put that piece in there, it's going to cut that whole piece out so that it looks like this. I have two of these, and I'm going to use them for the outside, and you'll see why. This is a permanent piece in there, but this is a solid cutout line. So I just insert these into the die and created two of those. Okay? It just gives it a little bit of an interest. Now, you could keep them plain if you want. That's totally, totally up to you as I make that very loud noise. So sorry. So what I want to do now is I just want to take a piece of my gold cardstock, and I just want to cut a strip. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to back these two panels. So if I take this and just set that back there, you know, I've got a good panel going on. Now, I think, you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to do something a little different. See, this is what happens when I just turn on my camera. So, I am going to cut a strip 2 1/4. Let's see if this works. I don't know. So this will be fun. So let's go 2 1/4. And I'm going to need a piece because I just want that opening there. Four 3/4. So I got that one, and I need one more. Cut that one. Let's get these extra pieces out. Bring in my scoreboard. I'm going to put each of these in here, and I'm going to come in 1/4 of an inch from the one side, from the right hand side. All right. I just want to fold that over. I don't know. Fingers crossed, guys. Fingers crossed. So if I take this, nope, not what I wanted to do. Although that does look cool. But what I can do is, see, I just don't think things through. That would be me. Yep, that's what I do. Do that, and I just want to cut this a little bit more to get that off there. And you know what? I'm not going to worry about it. Here we go. All right. And I'm going to do the same thing to this one. All right, back to my original thought. All right, so now I am going to grab my glue because there's a lot of intricate pieces here. And I'm just going to put glue around the outside. I am going to make sure I come up to that edge, and you'll see why. Come around these arches as well. All right. And I'm going to take this and I want to go right up on that edge. And I just want to cover that. And just make sure, oh my goodness. Yay me. Yay me. Let's try that again. You all were watching that, weren't you? Yes, you were. All right, we'll save that for another piece. Let's try this again. Oh, it's the illness. It's made me lose all kinds of brain cells now. Okay, so now that I've got the gold going down, oh my goodness. You're all laughing. I know you are. It's what we do, right? Oh, there we go. Yeah, that looks nice now. Okay. I'm going to come in, and I just want to make sure that is creased the way that it should be. I was going to take this and put that there, and I don't like that now. Okay, let's have that other piece. Let's try this again. I know you guys are screaming. Make sure you put it in the right way. I am so with you. Oh, well, at least I'm giving you all great entertainment. But it's what we do, right? You know, everything gold side down. I do love the delicate design when it comes to the flourish. Now, I'm not going to press down yet because I want to come in with my scissors on an angle just to trim that. Okay, and now we have that. Again, I'm going to crease that. Now, while I have these, I am now going to put my double-sided tape on these as well. And I'm going to put 2 strips. Okay, so if we come back to our main piece, so what we want to do is we're going to take these 2 doors, and that's what they are, and they will fit right in here. So we want to basically close the door. And when we close this door, when we have them set the way that they are supposed to be set, as they're sitting in here in the center, they're lining up on the edge of your card. Okay, so keep that in mind. They're doing that. And again, it's got to be based off of your center aperture. So if this is off a little bit, which I'm sure mine is, that's okay. It's going to pick these up, and you'll see why in a minute. So I know these are just not sitting straight. I want to make sure that they are. And I'm just playing with it just a little bit. All right, now I'm going to keep my hand down. And I'm going to keep the pressure on these pieces. So I'm going to take the release paper off of this side. And I'm going to do that to the other side as well. Keeping my pressure here, I'm going to take now my right side. I'm going to fold it in, press down, keeping my hand there. Don't put it in the double-sided tape though. I'm going to take this and I'm going to fold over there as well. So now when I open this, fingers crossed, it should create the shutter. And it does. Okay, so now when I go to close the card, it'll close the doors. So again, now your cardstock will loosen up as you keep opening and closing. See, I'm going to close it, I'm going to open it. See how easier it's getting? So that's all you have to do is keep working this, and it automatically creates that. Is that not beautiful? It's absolutely gorgeous. It's ingenious. And then this will also sit up. You'll have this long, this elongated, because these two panels will come up, and then you see this side panel here. So you can't put jewels on this, so you can add your decorative papers, because again, it's going against this cutout here. Now for that cutout, I do have this gold frame, so we can spruce this up just a little bit. And I'm going to set this, I'm going to drop it really soon like I just did, and I'm going to set this down around my opening. And I just want to push that up a little bit to hide that teal. Create that down. There we go. And I'm going to let that dry. Okay, so you can see, sorry about that, my husband came in. So you can see, you know, you just have that accent going on there. So I love the windows that this creates. This is actually, it's going to be a beautiful piece when somebody opens this, because it stays open. Because if you look, you know, you've got those openings there. If I take a light piece of cardstock and just, you can see how those openings are. So it does create a beautiful form sitting on a shelf or on top of a bookcase for somebody. So I'm going to close this back up. Now I have a gap here, and I'm okay with that. So I have these two panels here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these right here, like that. All right, so I'm going to get these not glued down yet, okay? Because there's something that I'm going to do first. And what that is I need some ribbon. So I'm going to get my aqua, and there's another color, and I want this gold. All right, so what we can do is thread ribbon. So I'm going to grab these two pieces of ribbon. I don't know if this is going to work. Tell you what, I just want this one. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from this side. I'm going to cut on an angle. All right, and I'm going to thread my ribbon through this. Okay, so this will be nice and tedious, but you can see this beautiful effect that you're getting. And I need to make sure that I can pull this. Now, I would, if you're going to do this, you want to make sure that you do have a thick cardstock. Yeah, see, that's because you're really going to be adding some tension as you're going through this, because I need to make sure that I've got enough ribbon because this is going to sit here, and I'm going to get a clip. An ugly clip, but I'm going to get a clip. And I want to put that there because this now is going to come around the back of my card. And I'm sure there's a way to measure and all of that fun stuff, but I'm just not. So, and I want to make sure so that if I bring this around, this is actually going to be a little tight. Yeah, that's about the length that I want. So now what I'm going to do is I need to make sure that this is sitting here. And now I'm going to weave coming from this other side. I'm sure there is another easy way to do this. But again, I just kind of dive right in and just do all kinds of different things. I do love the fact that you can interweave your ribbon into this piece. I think it adds a beautiful elegance. I think the ribbon going across the back of this card will absolutely be unique as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a clip on that side too, just for right now. I'm okay if it's a little loose. It's not going to be perfect, but I want to make sure that if you've seen my videos before, you know I love long tails of ribbon and so forth. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, or now what I want to do, I'm going to remove my clips, and I'm going to take these and I'm going to flip these out like this. Because we're going to wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And I'm going to put glue on these pieces. And the first one is going to be the one that sets where these will go. Okay. Now, thank goodness for ribbon, because it's going to kind of help me to hold on to this a little bit. And I'm going to set this down. Not right up to the edge, but close to the edge. And I just want to make sure that it's even. I'm going to remove the excess glue. Okay. So now I got to make sure my ribbon, I'm going to make sure my ribbon's flat. I'm going to push this one out of the way. And I'm just going to tug on this just a little bit because I need to know that when I place this down, it's going to be set. And that's it right there. Okay. I'll flip her back and do the same thing, but with less glue. Again, we're just going to do the arches. All right. Again, I'm going to use to a point that ribbon. And then I'm going to set that in place as well. And I'm just going to use the other gate as my guide. Okay, so now what I can do here is I'm able to take this and tie a bow. We can pull that one down and we've got this. But now we've got this bow that will come across. And now I'll even up my edges. Okay. So that's what we have so far. Now, how can we can definitely embellish off of this. So what I'm actually going to do is I want to take this panel here, just these panels, and I'm going to use my, I'm going to use my brown, and I'm going to give this some accents. Now, I'm not quite sure where I'm going to do that. Not sure how I'm going to do it. You know what? No, I know exactly what I'm going to do. So, I'll be right back. Okay, gold gems it is. And these are by, I believe, Pretty Pink Posh. And we are just going to decorate. Now, remember, you also do have the flowers that are part of the die as well. You could use those to embellish your card. I am just absolutely in love with these extremely wow, really? Okay. Oh my. Only I could drop the jewel and have it land right in the glue. What I'm using to pick up my gem is a wax pencil. I get mine on Amazon. And I have like a whole box. And I think they do the trick. So I'm just going to keep on adding gems to really make this sparkle. I just need to make sure I grab the same size. All right, and I think I'm going to go down one size on this one. Okay, did not realize I was not filming. Yay. Yay me. All right, so let's clean these up. We'll get those out of the way so I don't spill those. We'll move that. And then let's tie this again. I think these gold gems add a beautiful accent. So again, if we tie our bow, and here's our card. So again, you have this beautiful card. It does come out to be a 6x6 card. So a little bit, you would need an envelope a little bit bigger than that. And depending upon how much you put on, you know, this is definitely more postage, bigger envelope. You would need a thicker one, and I think this would definitely also be a padded one. So I added gems to the corners. The cardstock that I used is Peacock by Stampin' Up. And then my satin gold is by Tonic. So that when we open this up, and we pull our two sides, it's upside down. Okay, so let's do that so that it looks like that. And again, we just have that different backdrop, and we already have the dimensions. So again, a beautiful card just to sit on the shelf. And again, you can embellish on the inside, not on these panels, because they're going to get caught on that side there, so they will come off. But you could put flowers up in here, a bow if you're looking for that as well. And then it just closes up easily. So I do hope you enjoy this project. I hope I gave you some tips and tricks so that you can create your own version of the reveal shutter card using the Spellbinders Amazing Paper Grace Die Kit of the Month Club system here. So again, hope you enjoyed it. All the links will be down below in the video description if you're interested in this or interested in any of their other clubs, along with their blog, their gallery, their shop. They're always running specials, so make sure you check out Spellbinders for anything that you may need. If you have any questions or comments, leave those down below as well, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. I hope everyone's having a great day. If you're not already a subscriber, I'd love you to hit that button, ring the bell so that you know when the next video is live, and make sure you hit the thumbs up. Remember though, what is most important for me, always and every day, be creative.